Okay, good. Thanks, N6PGQ.
This is KP for MD Audio Check. Am I being heard?
Not too loud, but very clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I can't talk too loud. I'm a little out of breath, but we'll go ahead with this. Thank you very much. Good evening. This is Carol, Kilo Papa for Mike Delta, your net control operator for River City ARC's Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesdays nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City ARC's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call anytime, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or traffic moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before I continue. Any station who wishes to check into that, please come now.
N6YG, George and Lincoln.
November 6 Hotel Alpha, Bill and Rosso. Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Radio in Antelope, Neil.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Bob in Northmost Roseville.
Okay. We've got November 6 Yankee Golf, November 6 Hotel Alpha, Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo, and November 6 Papa Golf Quebec. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Any other check-ins? Okay, and now no others. So we'll go to the top of the list and we'll see. A November 6 Yankee Golf, George, if you have a picture to send, please go ahead and send it over.
All right, well, good evening, Carol in the net. It's good to, hold on. Sorry about that. My phone was playing something. It's good to hear everyone on the net, and I do believe I have something I'm ready to send. This is actually kind of detailed, so I'm curious on how well it's going to come over. Let's see. All right, here goes, N6YG.
Thank you for that, George. N6HA, Bill, your comments, please.
Yeah, it's an okay copy here. I have a lot of green artifacts at the top, and it sheared halfway through, and my copy didn't recover like Carol's did, so I'm not sure if I probably need to sync my radio again. Something's wrong with my clock. But yeah, it's an interesting photo. It looks like almost, I don't want to say magnetic fields. It's hard to make out what's going on. There's a lot of arrows. I do like the one off shooting from the top left. Looks like a spiral, like some kind of jettison of something. So yeah, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna guess magnetic fields, but I'm really not sure. So yeah, I wonder what the story behind this is. N6HA back to net.
Thank you, Bill. Now over to Neil, KL7HQR.
Roger, good copy here. Absolutely no pops in the picture at all. Very clear. Try to understand. It looks like the sun interface with the Earth looks like the Van Allen belts and some of the atmosphere and emissions from the Earth. Cannot get the details on the reading the specific items in the field, but overall, very good picture. Extremely, the colors came out nicely, and unfortunately, that I cannot get all the details. I have it exploded all the way to my full screen here. I still cannot read it. So back to that.
Thank you, Neil. Over to you, George. Please tell us about the picture. Over.
Yeah, you can actually read more about this. Let me get the microphone in a better position. You can read more about this. The call sign is Papa Alpha 2 Sierra Whiskey X-Ray, PA2 SWX, Papa Alpha 0 Sierra Whiskey X-Ray. I think I'm reading it right. Yeah, it's just about propagation and the various natural phenomenon that have an impact on RF propagation, and it's actually a pretty interesting read.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead. Question.
Yeah, does that have anything to do with, as a lot of people know, I'm having all kinds of interference on my HF situation here. But besides that, it looks like the propagation has been absolutely horrible. And does it have anything to do with that? Over.
No. I was talking to this guy on HF and was looked up his website and was just reading the information he had there, and he has quite a bit of information on propagation and solar propagation and so on. So that's pretty much what this is.
Okay, Kelson, I still have back to that.
I just thought it was an interesting drawing, so I downloaded a copy of it.
Okay, thank you. Next, Bill, N6HA, please go with your picture.
This is Bill, November 6 Hotel Alpha, and this will be PD 120.
Thank you, Bill. This is KP4MD. Uh, over to you, Bob, N6PGQ. Over.
Okay, picture quality is really good. There's a few pixel pops that you can see in the blue to the right side, but it looks like we have a couple of printed circuit boards here, and a desoldering tool says vacuum in the yellow button. I wonder what repair is going on. Be interested to find out. The quality's really good, and that's about all I can say. N6PGQ.
Thank you, Bob. Over to you, George, N6YG.
Very good quality. Got a few pixel pops as well. Don't know if that's on my RX end or if that's on the TX end. Yeah, I agree, two printed circuit boards and a vacuum desoldering tool, and the blue and yellow is at Hacko. I have the original Hacko desoldering pump, but it's in black. The original, and those things were expensive. I think I paid close to $400 for that when I got it. One of the best tools one of the most useful tools I have, especially if you're going to unsolder header pins like that. You just got to be careful with it. Flux is your best friend when it comes to using that tool. Lots of flux. Sorry, I'm going to lose my voice. And I'm trying to figure out what this board may be, and I just see some very heavy solder connections there with a lot of solder on them. I don't know if that's a PA board or not.
Okay. Back to you, Bill. Tell us about the picture N6HA. Over.
Yeah, you guys got it correct. This is my new toy. It's a Heiko FR301. Typically, these retail for anywhere between $320 and $400. Was actually able to buy mine direct from Japan for $150-ish. It was about 160. And the only difference between the two is 100-volt line voltage versus our line voltage. So two high wattage resistors later, and you could modify this to work on the US with no problem. So I'm really enjoying this tool. I wish I owned one years ago. It's a breeze, and it's making life a lot easier. So I should have bought this a long time ago, even if it was double the price. So I recommend this if you're in the market for one. This might be a route for you. Oh, baby's awake. This is just a test board, though. So anyways, back to the N6HA.
Thank you. Any other comments on this picture?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's probably one of the most useful tools. It's one of the few tools that I don't let people borrow. Even my son tried to borrow it from me once, and I said, "No, that does not leave the shop."
Okay. Thank you very much, George. Let's go to the next picture, KL7HQR. Neil, if you're ready for your picture. Over.
Roger, KL7HQR. This is one of those, what is it and where is it? Let's hope it goes okay. Here it goes. PD120.
Thank you for that picture. N6 HA, how did you copy that over?
Yeah, okay copy here, a few pixel pops. Yeah, interesting composition. The colors are pretty vivid on my side versus what I see on YouTube. But yeah, good copy here. It looks like a giant tower in the back with a lot of palm trees lining the walkway going towards it. I was going to say this is somewhere outside of Sacramento, maybe, with that many palm trees. Yeah, I don't know what that building is back there where Neil seems to be. So I wonder if this is on your travels or is this somewhere in Sacramento that I just don't know exists. So yeah, I'm interested to hear. N6HA back to that.
Thank you, Bill. N6PGQ. Bob, how did you copy that over?
Well, I copied it very well. There's a few pixel pops that are noticeable in the sky. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's not Sacramento. I don't think I've seen any tower like that in this area. In fact, I haven't ever seen this picture before. So I'll let Neil describe it. He's got the captioning down. It's very nice with the N6NA SSTV Net on the top and DEKL7HQR on the bottom right. Good picture. Be interested to know where it is and if there's a TV tower on top of it or anything to that effect. N6PGQ.
Thank you, George. Over to you, Neil. Please tell us about the picture.
Scale 7HQR. Sorry, Bob. There are no towers that I know of, or no antennas on top of that. That is a picture we took in March on our last cruise to Hawaii. That is called the Aloha Tower, and it is right the main tower representing Honolulu. It was there during the Tora, the attack and survived it. And our ship used to dock right next to it. And now we dock quite a long way from it. And it is part of the University of Hawaii. The whole entire park now is part of the University of the Pacific, Hawaii. And we were walking around, and we came about because there were all kinds of souvenir shops around the tower and everything. Now it's completely different. It's just like a university campus. And if you see on the posters on the left-hand side, I had to kind of block the University of Pacific Hawaii signs, and also way up on top, if you zoomed on you'll see that there was a Aloha Tower, and I have to kind of overwrite that with the KL7HQR sign. So anyway, it is in Honolulu, and I'm glad nobody caught it. KL7HQR, back to
that. Thank you, Neil. And Craig, WP2N is checked in on our YouTube live chat. Any other comments about this picture? No comments. Thank you. Next is N6PGQ. Bob, if you have a picture and you're ready, please send it over.
Okay, this is going to be PD120.
Thank you for that picture, Bob. And we do have a new check-in on live chat. It's from the East Coast, Kilo 1 Echo Delta Charlie from Augusta, Maine, checked in on live chat and says hello. So let's go back up to N6YG. George, how did you copy this picture? And any comments? Over.
Yes, this looks like a Looney Tunes litho, maybe. A very interesting story. I used to, well, first off, the picture came over great. I only got a few pixel pops. I get a little more A pattern once in a while. I'm not sure what creates that. It might be multipath. I used to work for Universal Pictures, and they would have me doing all sorts of weird things. You know, they'd call me up on my walkie-talkie and tell me to come up to administrative and tell me to grab a car out of the carpool and go down to Hanna-Barbera or go down to Warner Brothers, and they'd give me a package to deliver or get signed or something like that. And this reminds me of walking through the hallways. I used to love to go to Hanna-Barbera because down the hallways in the administrative area, they had lithos hanging on the wall of all the cartoons. It was just amazing. So that's kind of what this reminds me of, N6YG.
Thank you very much, George. Over to you, Bill. November 6 Hotel Alpha. How did you copy it? Over.
Yeah, good copy here. Very few pixel pops. I agree with George. It looks like Bugs Bunny and the crew playing an orchestra or a band, whatever you want to call it. All the familiar faces are there. I can't tell if it's a litho or just a framed. It looks like it's framed on a wall. The wall matches the same background, maybe, but it's hard to tell. But I wonder if this is hanging on your wall. So that's pretty cool. N6NA back to net.
Okay, thank you. Back over to you, Bob, and please tell us about this picture. KP for MD here.
Okay, well, this is a Hirschfeld lithograph, and it's hanging on my brother's wall, and he got it while he was playing at Warner Brothers in the band for a movie at some time. And he's had it many years, and it has all the Looney Tunes characters, or at least most of the familiar ones, playing different instruments. Daffy's playing the flute backwards. Is the only thing I can tell that isn't quite right. But it's not the, I don't know how you'd say it. It's not it's a PG picture if you look very carefully at it. It was a lithograph by Hirschfeld, and I looked it up on the internet just because I want one. But it's going for $5,500, so I don't want it that bad. N6PGQ.
Okay, KP for MD. I looked it up on Google, and it's called Orchestra Pit. And that's, as you say, Warner Brothers Studio Gallery by Al Hirschfeld. Any other comments on this picture?
Well, K07HQ, I remember many years ago I went to the Hollywood Bowl and I saw a beautiful presentation of the 1812 Overture, and that kind of reminds me a little bit about it.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that picture. And I do have one, and this will be PD 120 KP4MD. Okay, KL7HQR. Neil, how did you copy this? Over.
Well, good copy here, no problem at all. It looks like Bob is preparing to do some good food for us, and I was there, so I won't go into details in here. I want to know how everybody else got the picture. Very good copy here. Over.
Thank you. Over to N6YG. George, how did you copy this? Over.
That came over very well. I've got some pixel pops on it, a little more than usual, and I think I'm looking at an older Weber Performer down there with the stainless steel top. I think I have one of those sitting over at Galen's house. Great barbecue, and of course that's Bob's. So I wasn't there, but it looks like he's grilling some hamburgers up. Looks like a good time.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm going to ask Bob to explain this because he can explain more about that barbecue than I could. How about it? N6PGQ KP4MD.
Okay, Carol in the group. Well, what you're looking at is the first Michelin 3-star barbecue. I was really proud to have received the award. As you can tell, I really dressed up for it. Actually, I was cooking some hamburgers for the NAQP contest for the W6SFM Morse code, Samuel Morse code club, and we did the contest at my house, and so we fed everybody. So that's the feeding process in 6PGQ.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Any comments or questions about this picture before we go on?
KL7HQR. Well, Bob, you can tell them that you almost went hungry on that one.
Yeah, I have to say that Bob is an excellent cook, and we were all quite well satisfied with the hamburger, the cheeseburgers that day. And there's a question from Craig on live chat, actually directed to me. Any damage reports from Puerto Rico? Looks like storm heading toward Bermuda next. You know, I have not followed the weather, so I'm going to have to go ahead and read up on that and see if there was actually a storm gone through Puerto Rico. I was not aware of that. So we've done a complete round here, and if anybody has another picture, they are welcome to go ahead and send it, or else we'll close the net and we'll have George do the final on that KP4MD.
Find the microphone here. All right, you want me to send out a final picture? The closing picture?
Yes, I would appreciate that, George, and thank you for joining us here, everybody on the net. This is KP4MD. Go right ahead, George.
All right, N6YG. PD120.
Okay, thank you very much, George, for the excellent closing picture. Uh, Thanks to everyone who participated in tonight's Slow Scan Television Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific Time. This net is now officially closed at 9:38 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. This is Carol Killer Papa for Mike Delta wishing you all a very good evening and 73.
Thanks, Carol, for being there and being in the net control. Please take care of yourself. Carol 7HQI clear.
Yep, Carol did a good job on the net. Thank you very much. And sound like you are suffering from a little bit of a sore throat there.
Yeah, it's my asthma's been acting up since I had COVID, and it's just pretty bad tonight, so I really can't talk much more. But thank you. I'm on 2 inhalers, KP for MD.
Alrighty, Carol. Well, we hope you get well soon. N6YG.